We're back here now at the Rural Economic Outlook Conference talking with meteorologist Brian Bledsoe. And you're a speaker today. You're talking about the forecast, long, kind of immediate and also long range. Tell us what you're going to talk about.
Well, I mean, we're at an ag forum, so weather is a big deal, and long range weather is a big deal. And as we start to enter the back part and finish out 2023, a lot of folks are going to wonder how we're going to finish and what we're looking at going in 2024. And I think being top of mind because we've had to worry about dryness so much for different places, but other people have had a lot of rain. So I think they're going to want to find out, are we going to be more balanced, or are we going to kind of keep going with the have and the have-nots type of thing?
So when you look in your crystal ball, what are the answers to those questions?
It's a complex answer, as it always is. And then one of my favorite expressions is, the future is hard. And when we're dealing with weather, and especially long-range weather, my goal is to put it in a baseball analogy, not run the bases on the baseball diamond, but just to simply get in the park. So farmers and ranchers have an idea that they can put in their risk management toolbox of what to expect. Now, that being said, we know that there's been a lot of information given out there about the El Nino that has been on top of us and being kind of thrown in our face a lot. And a lot of that messaging, I think, has been misguided. That El Nino is a fix-all for everything and everything's going to be fine, because that's just simply not how it works all the time. So one of my goals today is kind of to reset the table and walk ag producers through what this phenomena is all about, what it has done in the past, and what it looks like going into 2024.
Is there a TV soundbite version of that answer that you could share with our viewers who aren't at the conference today?
I would say I am much more optimistic about moisture for us in the first half of 2024 than I am for the back half of 24. So I would be very judicious with your business practices and capitalize on that moisture while it's here, because as we know, living in the plains, we're never very far away from drought.
So then could we see La Nina sort of return mid-year?
That is a concern of mine, for the reasons of, in the Pacific Ocean, you have these warm and cold phases, and they are long-term. They are decadal cycles, if you will. And since 1998, the Pacific has been in a cold phase. And that's one of the major reasons why we have had to struggle more with drought over the past 25 years than we really had before then. As long as that Pacific stays cold, it makes it that much easier for us to go back into La Nina and for us to have to worry about drought and dryness again. The Pacific is still cold right now, despite the fact that El Nino is there, and that's one of the main reasons that I'm concerned about the back half of 24. It's a long ways out there, I get that, but when you look at how these patterns have cycled historically and kind of where we are right now, it's a red flag to me that we at least need to be addressing it and looking for that possibility.
Our viewers really dive into the Mesonet reports every week, so I think the key probably is to stay up to date with really credible information, right, in order to make decisions short-term and long-term.
Lyndall, you know how much misinformation's out there today. And yes, I think it's very important that it doesn't matter who you follow. You just need to follow somebody who's credible, resourceful, and has your best interests at heart.
Great. And you have some materials that you put out regularly and a podcast. Tell us about that.
I do. So here recently I started a podcast. It's called the Desert Farmer Podcast. You can find that, and you might say, well, why desert farmers? Well, because a lot of us farm in the desert, the great American desert, and I think having grown up in eastern Colorado and have been basically researching the weather patterns of the western and central high plains, I wanted to give back to those farmers and ranchers some information that I think that they can genuinely use. So if you're interested in that, it's on Spotify, it's Apple, Google, just search up the Desert Farmer Podcast. I also have a private weather consulting business. It's Brian Bledsoe, WX LLC. You can find me on Twitter as well, at Brian Bledsoe. So I'm not very hard to find.
Okay, Brian, thanks a lot. Great talking with you today.
Yeah.
And for a link to the information that Brian mentioned, just go to sunup.okstate.edu.